If you want questionable tactics, questionable team lineups, questionable finances, and me sitting here going, I don't know what's gone wrong, you've come to the right place. Hello and welcome back to The Real Deal. Today we have got two games for you, Inter Milan in the Champions League and then Athletic Bilbao in La Liga. Now in the introduction I alluded to a few things that were a bit questionable and we'll take you through that kind of stuff now. We start off with the game that we played in between episodes, a 3-2 loss to Real San Sebastian. Questionable team lineup. You could argue Jonathan Cano, even though Cucurella is back fit again, I thought we'd play him, save Cucurella for this game against Inter Milan. He didn't play very well. We also played Leonardo Meza, a young winger, on the left-hand side. So the left-hand side of the pitch was basically inexperience all over the place. And we lost 3-2. I mean, I wouldn't blame those two for the loss, but they did have a 6.2 and a 6.4 between them, so it's not the best. The first goal they scored actually was a bit of a fluke. Berke Özil had the ball at his feet and just got tackled. We also had a goal disallowed for offside like 15 seconds into the game, so it could have been a very different story if our goal wasn't offside and Berke Özil didn't get tackled in his penalty area with no one else around him. Real Sociedad did deserve to win the game, I've got to say. They were the better side on the day, better stats and things like that. It's very disappointing to lose that because, you know, Real Sociedad are a team that are going to be competing with us this season, I think, for Champions League places. So that was a must-win game in my eyes, and obviously we've not won it. Next up, questionable finances, and that belongs to Dad, who was on 16k per week until about a week ago, and is now on £58,000 a week. Now, the reason is he asked for a new contract, and we were like, yeah, okay, we'll do that. He came in, asked for about £40,000 per week, or something like that. I think I got him down to about 25, 28 sort of K. But it was the minimum fee release clause that we just weren't agreeing on. I wanted it to be 30 million, he wanted it to be 28. Eventually, he got cross and quit all negotiations. But I'd already promised him a new contract. I didn't want him getting cross with me. So I said to my director of football, how about you have a go at contracts? And he came back and said, yeah, we sorted the contract. How much is he on then? £58,000 per week. So he's on a lot of money for 19 years old. I mean, he's loving it. He's rolling it completely. He has got that £30 million release fee clause, but of course, at what expense? An extra 20 grand per week that I wasn't going to, or 30 grand a week even, that I wasn't going to give him. So it's really not very good. He's also got a massive loyalty bonus, appearance fee, an unused substitute fee, and a yearly wage rise of 5. I mean, it's just stupid. I'm never ever letting my director of football do contracts ever again. Questionable tactics was the other one. Today we play Inter Milan, who are sitting top, well, they're the first seed in our group. We're bottom seed, we're fourth seed. So obviously Inter Milan, very, very good. But we're going to go for a very attacking formation today on the grounds that we have nothing to lose. So you may say questionable tactics, but I just think we've got nothing to lose. We may as well go all out. So they're the three questionable things in today's episode. By the end of it, when we lose this game, probably lose to Bilbao, I'll be saying, where's it all gone wrong? And there we go. That completes the 4 things I said in the intro. I was going to say triple threat, but there's 4. I don't know what 4 is. Double trouble, triple threat, quadruple rubbish. I don't know. Either way, we've got Berke starting in goal for us as per usual. Cucurella comes back in for his first start of the season after getting back from injury. Sanchez, Romero and Diouf make up the rest of that back line with Partey, Dad and Colono in that midfield. Adic on the left, Orsolini on the right and Osmanovic back up front after coming back from his injury, although he's a little bit tired, so Nacho may come on later on in the game. Right then, kickoff is upon us here at the San Siro Stadium in Milan. Of course, we heard last season when we played AC Milan in the Champions League, and that didn't go so well. So hopefully we can do something a little bit better against their bitter rivals, Inter Milan. I'll tell you what though, if we can get a win away from home at Inter Milan, that would be huge in the context of the group. Leverkusen, I think we should be able to beat. I mean, they're obviously a decent side. They're in the Champions League, but I think we should have enough to beat them. Monaco, I know, spend a lot of money as Osmanovic nearly puts it in the back of the net. His shot was too close to the keeper there, unfortunately for us. Monaco, in this universe, have spent a lot of money. They've got real world-class strikers. I know that for sure because I've tried to sign them in the past, or at least scouted them out and then realised that they are very, very good and we'll never get them. I don't know what their back line's like though, because they have been trying to sign Berke Özil actually for the past 2 seasons and we've not let him go. So I don't know if their goalkeeper's any good or not, because if they want Berke Özil, their goalkeeper can't be better than what we've got. So hopefully it means that they'll be a bit susceptible at the back, Monaco. By looks of things though, from the highlights in the background whilst I've been talking, we've been playing pretty well actually. So perhaps there's method to the madness in going quite attacking here in Milan. They get a corner though. It goes all the way up to the back post and just narrowly headed wide. So we've got to be a bit careful from set pieces. It looks like they're going to be dangerous. Monaco already 2-0 up against Leverkusen though. So I mean that's sort of good for us, thinking that Leverkusen could be a a good win, perhaps, if we play well against them. It does, however, suggest that Andrea Belotti and AS Monaco, Belotti scoring for them, are very, very good going forward. In our game, though, right now, Inter Milan coming forward through Pozzo on the right, puts his ball into Boyle, who gets it, I think, just back to his winger there, who has the shot. Berke Özil with a very, very important save there to keep us in the game. Inter Milan coming back into it now. We have the opening 15 minutes or so. They have the next 15 minutes by the looks of things at the stats. Not sure what's happened to Orsolini. He's not particularly performed in competitive games so far. Pre-season, I don't play the pre-season friendlies and stuff, but every game it was like Orsolini on fire, Orsolini doing amazing. Got loads of goals, got loads of assists. It's not really come to fruition, unfortunately. So Adriano Pelaez is probably sitting on the bench thinking he's got a chance to get into the first team, especially when Orsolini is sitting on a 6.2 right now. 0-0 at half-time isn't too bad. I will take a 0-0 draw against Inter Milan away from home, especially going quite aggressive in our stance. I'm going to go aggressive now and say I'm not happy with performance out there. Hopefully they react to that in the second half. As you can see, the average rating's pretty similar across both sides, and neither side are playing particularly well. It's just going to take that one little bit of genius, I think, which I think we've got in our ranks. Inter Milan coming forward through Boy on the ball now, out towards Pozzo on their right-hand side. And he's got the Ashraf, the right-back, through there. He puts the cross in. It's headed on by Leris. I think is how he says his name. I can't quite read that. Yeah, Leris. He headed the ball over the bars. Looks like he's having nearly as bad of a game as Orsolini. I think we will take Orsolini off in the next few moments. Hans Osmanovic, again, he's not playing particularly well out there either. So I think he probably deserves to come off. He's scored all our goals so far in the league, I believe. Well, he scored 4 at least. I think we may have scored more than 4 goals. But Nacho's going to come on for him as a target man on attack. We're also going to bring players on for Orsolini as a winger on support. So maybe that'll work a little bit better, perhaps. We may look to swap Dad out. I mean, that's a very poor performance from Dad there. That's unusual from him, I've got to say. I mean, we've not had any more shots since the opening 15 minutes or so of the game. As I say that, we get 2 more. So maybe I need to start disrespecting us a little bit more. Maybe talking us down a little bit. That might get us to have a few more shots. Corner comes in and they finally broke him a deadlock into Milan. You've got to argue it probably was coming, I've got to say. They had a lot of chances and they probably was coming, which is very unfortunate. We go down to 3rd in the group. We need to try and grab something, though, in this game. So we're going to go and say push forward to the boys out there. Dad really not playing too well up there now. So we're going to take him off. Bring Harbo on. And I think we can move Thomas Partey into that attacking midfield position. At this point, we've got nothing to lose. So we may as well try and push a few more bodies forward. Another chance now for Inter Milan, though, as the game approaches the final 10 minutes or so. Looks like they're just toying around with us a little bit now, just passing it around. They know that they've got the lead and the control in this game, so they just need to hold on to it. The ball forward, if that was Osmanovic there rather than Nacho, I think Osmanovic would have tried to get onto the end of that. But I'm not overly convinced by Nacho yet. I don't think his movement is quite good enough for what I want from my team. Although players on the ball right now in towards Nacho, back to players who holds the ball up nicely. Harbo into Nacho. Nacho with a little bit of nice movement there, found some space, had a shot, Navas with the save, but that's the first real chance we've had since the opening 15 minutes or so. Colono's corner comes in, but it's cleared, but only as far as Thomas Partey, who can't control it, and that's the end of the highlights. I thought Thomas Partey was meant to be good, but I mean, he had very good stats last year at Atletico Madrid. He's not started that well here, I've got to say. To be expected, though. It's a new team for him, new system, but I did expect a little bit more. By looks of things, though, we are going to lose today's game 1-0. We've come back into it a little bit towards the end, but with 10 seconds left on the clock, it's not going to happen, unfortunately for us, as they collect the ball in defence after the clearance from their free kick. And all he has to do is hold on to the ball, plays back to the keeper. That's all he needs to do. Keeper will hoof it up the field, and that'll be that. It's all over here at the San Siro. Inter Milan 1, Oviedo 0. Inter Milan probably deserve their win, but I think we have been a little bit unlucky there, I've got to say. I'm going to say to the boys, I'm going to say I'm not happy with the performance out there, calmly. And they all look fired up and motivated by that. We may as well just go hard or go home, really. There's no point buttering it up for them, making it sweeter. We may as well just tell them what we think. I've not actually looked at other groups, because obviously I missed the draw. But actually, I mean, I'd love to be in Group C. I mean, I assume Dinamo Kiev are the bottom seeded team there, so I'd love to be in that group. I think we could actually seriously mount a challenge for the title in that group, or the title in that group. Coming first in that group, we've got a bit more of a tough group, I've got to say. But I'm looking forward to playing Leverkusen. I think they are games that we should be winning. So 3rd at the very minimum this season, I've got to say. Bilbao in a couple days' time. So that's not what I want to do. I want to just rest our first team players out there for a day, get some fitness back into them, just so they don't work themselves too much in training over the next few days. And hopefully for this Bilbao game, which again, it's another away game. I've had quite a few of those. Only the one home game competitively so far after five games or so. That seems a little bit unfair. Fingers crossed though, Bilbao, who are our bogey team, hopefully will batter them. Actually, in the other half of the draw, there are some really tough groups, actually. So perhaps we've actually got quite lucky with our group and we've not sort of realised it yet. I mean, Real Madrid, Roma, PSG and Red Bull. I mean, Red Bull Salzburg, they're just sitting there thinking, what is going on? How have we been so unlucky? That is a group of death, that is. Of course, you won't be surprised to see Inter under-20s 1, Oviedo under-19s 6. I mean, our under-19 do so well. God, looking at this Eibar Las Palmas game, looking at the times of the scoring, it does remind me of the Valencia debacle. It really reminds me of the Valencia debacle, and that is a bad time in my Football Manager. That is probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me in Football Manager. I'm not going to lie. I've been playing since Championship Manager 2003-2004, and I don't think I've had a worse experience in Football Manager than the Valencia debacle. And I've lost in like Champions League finals, I've lost Europa League finals, I've lost titles on like the last day of the season. Nothing is worse than the Valencia debacle. Right, the Bilbao game is here. I think we need to change one or two things. I think we're going to reunite last season's midfield with Badeka and Harbo coming on in that midfield to try and replicate sort of what we did last season. I do want to give Aitor Vazquez a game, so Romero's going to come out for him and the youngster Vazquez is going to come on because he's 17 years old, 2-star current ability already, 5-star potential. We need to start getting a few games, and I think Bilbao is a game we can sort of trust him in. Other than that, I think we'll keep things the same as it was last game. We played well for most of it. I mean, Inter Milan are a better team than us, I've got to say, so I think that just came through in the end. But, you know, I think this lineup today should be enough to beat Bilbao, although they do play on a weird pitch, don't they? Kickoff is upon us here, and again, you know, it is a weird pitch. It's a square. It's not anything that we're used to. I'll zoom in as much as I can. I think that's as much as I can zoom in on the pitch because it's just such a stupid shape. I mean, it's nearly as wide as it is long. And I think it probably is wider than it is longer as well, which is ridiculous. Adzic on the ball, though, loses it very early on. And Bilbao trying to make the most of it, although that pass there wasn't great. Colono is now sort of through on his own, has a shot. Perhaps would have been better looking at the pass towards Osmanovic, but again, players were around him completely, so I don't think he could really do anything else other than shoot. Free kick for us at the back. Vazquez takes it and goes straight to Colono, plays it in towards Osmanovic, who gets tackled by Alara Mendy there. And Bilbao, who I don't know why they don't do better than they actually do, because they've got a very, very good team, I've got to say, but they do seem to underperform. They've got some very good players. Alara Mendy, for example, on the ball right now, plays up towards Williams, who again is a very, very good player. Lopez now on the ball, back towards Williams, who has a chance to put the crossing, gets past the defender, puts it in. And okay, maybe I shouldn't be complimenting Bilbao saying they need to do better than they actually should, because they've scored. Great. You wait for it. End of this game, I'll be saying, where's it all gone wrong? And that'll complete the prophecy of the introduction. Goal kick for Bilbao, which must mean we've had a shot, at least maybe, or something like that. It goes straight to our defenders, and Colono can collect it. Orsolini plays it back into Harbo. Badeka on the ball, puts it forward towards Osmanovic, just a little bit too much on it, unfortunately. Perhaps not quite reading the play there. Osmanovic Diouf, though, plays it back down towards Orsolini, who wins the ball, puts the cross in, and it's somehow that has gone in the back of the net. Their defender completely messed up. Orsolini put a cross in, which looked like the keeper should have just grabbed. I don't know why he didn't grab it, but he pushed it onto the feet of Osmanovic, who was waiting, and then scores the equaliser. That's a bit of luck we needed, to be fair. We've had some unlucky goals. Well, I say unlucky. We've had one unlucky goal conceded in the past few games, so that sort of makes up for it, maybe. Another chance for Bilbao now as the ball is put forward to Lopez, and he gets in just behind the defence there, manages to just put a shot off target. But that's another warning sign, and it's another warning, and it's another indication that I tried so hard to strengthen the defence over some centre-back positions, and it hasn't really come to fruition. The defender we got in was like the fourth choice, and that was a very reluctant fourth choice as well, although Osmanovic does manage to score a goal there. Some weird defensive stuff there. Badeka just plays it in towards Osmanovic, and Osmanovic makes it 2-1, which is good for us. I won't be complaining too much now. Back on to 7 points now, although teams around us have played a few less games rather, actually, which isn't good. We'll probably head back down the table a little bit. But as long as we turn things around now, this is good. You know, I'll take that loss against Sociedad if it means we don't lose another game for the rest of the season. Okay, half-time, we're winning. It's good. Another brace for Osmanovic as things stand right now. I think every game he started, he's got a brace, which is pretty good going for him so far this season. Before the comments come in saying, what about last game against Inter Milan? I meant league games, not that. Osmanovic hits the crossbar and Adzic put it back across. I mean, I sort of missed that nearly. Decent opportunity for us by the looks of things. We hit the crossbar. Adzic puts it back across to Orsolini, but Orsolini doesn't win it. And that really was an opportunity we should have scored, and we may live to regret it now as Lopez's shot there saved by Berke Urza comfortably in the end. Once again, wingers not playing particularly well. Orsolini with the assist, but Adzic on a 6.3. And I feel like we perhaps replace them again with those youngsters. We have to give them game time to improve. And it's a risk that I'm happy to sort of take in a way. If I want to use them and get them better, they have to be used, essentially. So Badeka manages to squeeze in at the near post there, another goal. Adzic with a nice assist there. He's maybe just saved himself from a substitution with that little play. Perhaps he'll build a bit of confidence now for the rest of the game, play a little bit better. We may still take him off in 10-15 minutes time or so, give Meza that little chance towards the end of the game to get a bit of first team action. Trusting youngsters though has worked for us today though in terms of Vazquez on a 7 rating, doing very well for himself. I don't think he was at fault for the goal. Can't remember what the goal even was now, but I don't think he was at fault for it or anything like that. So I think he's played pretty well. I think we will bring on Meza I reckon we bring Meza on for Adzic today as a winger on attack. We've got Pelaez and Cano also on the bench as well as youngsters. We may bring... do we bring Cano? Should we just bring them all on? Shall we? Cano will start at left back. Pelaez get on right midfield. Again, this is very, very risky. Questionable team selection right now with 20 minutes to go or so. There's still plenty of time for them to score some goals. Although Osmanovic, edge of the area, shot blocked. Corner for us now, and it's taken by Colono in towards Meza in the end. Meza on the ball, just puts it wide the post, nearly making an instant impact after coming on off the bench. That's what I want to see from him. And to be fair to them, I think they've done pretty well since coming on the pitch. We've got a few more minutes now of added time to just see out the game. It looks like they've done a relatively solid job. They've not made any mistakes that have led to highlights or goals or things like that. So that's pretty good. And as Diouf takes the throw in, the full-time whistle does sound, and we have finally won a game. It looks like we've ended that 2-game running... Well, it looks like we have ended that 2-game running streak, which is very good. That's how champions respond to defeat. That's what I'm going to say. That's how champions respond to adversity there. And a great response there, especially with the youngsters on the pitch. 4 of them in the end, which is pretty good, I've got to say. There's 1 or 2 more that I may bring up from the B team at some point in the future. It's a shame that Diaz left because he could have also been there, but, you know, he's a bit of an idiot. He left to go somewhere else. Right then, it's been an okay start to the season. 2 wins, 2 losses and a draw. 1 in the Champions League, of course. It doesn't count too much towards the league, obviously. Next episode then, we go for the Leverkusen game, I think. Or do we do Monaco? Or no, we do this Leverkusen game, I reckon. Leverkusen and Coruña, I think we do next episode. That kind of makes sense to me. Gives me a bit of time to play a few games, get the season underway, and see what kind of form we're sort of in before we play the Leverkusen game. So thank you very much for watching today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have done, make sure you drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I will see you next time for some more Real